Hello everyone, welcome back. Tom with Capo Fetish. So when it comes down to a really nice listening experience, sometimes less is more, right? Back in the 90s with the emergence of CDs, we had like 74, 80 minutes worth of music on one CD. That's just way too much, unless the material is absolutely stellar, right? Which in most cases it wasn't. It could have been cut down into half that time, like a good 40-minute CD. So I'm going to illustrate with this video less is more, and I'm going to introduce to you 15 albums, 15 classic albums that are fantastic, and they're under 30 minutes. So without further ado, here we go. I'm going to start off here with 1971's Pink Moon by Nick Drake. This is his third album. I've mentioned it in other videos, and it's very stark. It's just him on guitar, very little accompaniment. It's just very moody, very dark, but it works super well, and it clocks in at 28 minutes and 22 seconds. That is really perfect for this kind of album. You don't want to get too into the melancholy. It's just enough melancholy and sadness where it doesn't, get in the way of your life. But yeah, there's some great songs on here. Of course, the title track, Pink Moon. And then it ends on a really kind of a high note, actually, for a Nick Drake album, From the Morning. There's other great songs on here like Ride, Harvest, Breed. Yeah, it's just a fantastic record. This is his last album that he released in his lifetime. He did record a few tracks after this album that made it onto a compilation called Time of No Reply. But yeah, this is his last album. His other albums before this, Brighter Later and Five Leaves Left, are great as well. But this is a short, sweet little melancholy album that you should check out if you haven't heard it. It's fantastic. And his guitar playing, by the way, Nick Drake's guitar playing is just fantastic. Nobody really sounds like him. It's very complex, and he really hits the strings very hard, even when he's picking. So good stuff. Another one, a great one from the punk era in Los Angeles, aptly titled Los Angeles by X. An absolutely rocking album, clocking in at 28 minutes and 5 seconds. This is their first album, came out in 1980. Every song on this is a banger, from Your Phone's Off the Hook, But You're Not. You've got a great cover version of Soul Kitchen by The Doors. You've got some real heavy bangers like Nausea. There's a really cool, kind of Doorsy-like song called The Unheard Music. And you've got The World's a Mess, It's in My Kiss. You've got the title track. It's just a perfect record. Johnny Hit and Run Pauline's on here. Every single song is awesome, and it clocks in under 30 minutes, and it says all it needs to say in 28 minutes and 5 seconds. John Doe, Exene, DJ Bone Break, Billy Zoom, 5-star album here. Great stuff. Another great album from early 1968, recorded mostly in 1967, is the Byrds, Notorious Byrd Brothers. This is a great way to pack a wallop into 28 minutes and 28 seconds. The Byrds touch on psychedelia, a little bit of country, a little bit of folk, a little bit of pop. They cover a Carole King song on here called Going Back. The whole album is absolutely perfect. And it doesn't overstay its welcome. It says all it needs to say in 28 minutes with all these different styles, and it makes you want more. But that's what the thing is about a good album. It makes you want more when there's less on the album. So I'm going to put this on the list. This is a great album under 30 minutes. Notorious Byrds Brothers by the Byrds from 1968. Another great one from, I believe, 1969. They were on a roll at this point. Creedence Clearwater Revival. I believe this is their third album. Correct me if I'm wrong. Green River. This is my favorite Creedence album, and it's not just because it's at 29 minutes and 25 seconds. There's a lot of great songs on here. The title track, Commotion, Lodi, Bad Moon Rising, Wrote a Song for Everyone. Just great songwriting by John Fogerty, and fantastic. Another great album you should hear if you've never heard. I've been promoting Tim Hardin for a while on this channel. I really love Tim Hardin. His second album comes in at 22 minutes and 38 seconds. Every track on here is phenomenal. Has the original version of I Were a Carpenter and Red Balloon. Really great songs. Some of the songs really go into really interesting territory and chord changes. A lot of unexpected things that kind of, really you're surprised. It's like, wow, that's kind of a cool part. So yeah, great album. Tim Hardin 2. This came out in 1967. There's probably about, let's see, about 11 songs on here, all in about 22 minutes. 22 minutes. Very short album, but Tim Hardin never really wrote any long songs. Even his first album, all the songs are like 2 minutes, 50 seconds, 2 minutes, 59 seconds. So great album here. Another great album here is Bob Dylan's Nashville Skyline. It's kind of got mixed reviews, but I really like this album. It's really Bob at his most playful. And there's some dynamite songs on here. You've got Girl from the North Country, a remake with Johnny Cash. There are some real favorites on here of mine. I Threw It All Away. One More Night is great. Tonight I'll Be Staying Here With You. And this clocks in at 26 minutes and 46 seconds. And there's a couple songs that are kind of hokey, but they all fit into the context of the album. And I think it's a really enjoyable listen. And people with attention deficit would really love this album. So 26 minutes, 46 seconds. Nashville Skyline from 1969, Bob Dylan. Another great one is Bookends by Simon and Garfunkel. This comes in at 29 minutes, 51 seconds, right under the 30-minute mark. I think this may be my favorite of Simon and Garfunkel's albums. Side 2 is absolutely flawless. At the Zoo, Punky's Dilemma, Mrs. Robinson. Side 1 is fantastic too, America. There's not a bad moment on this record. I think it's really them at their peak, and a great short listening experience, and a very pleasurable one at that. So Bookends from 1968 from Simon and Garfunkel. Another great one from 1968, a great blues album, just fantastic. Tell Mama from Edie James. This clocks in at, where are you, at 29 minutes and 39 seconds. It says all it needs to say. Every song's just great. Tell Mama. Have you ever heard Janis Joplin's version of Tell Mama? There's a great live version of it on YouTube. I think from 1970, I believe. You've got I'd Rather Go Blind, great version on here. Just a little bit. It Hurts So Much. This is, of all the Edie James albums I've heard, this is my favorite of her studio recordings. I know there's many more I need to listen to, but so far, I would give this a 5-star album. 5-star review. This is perfect stuff off the Chess label. And another great one too, wasn't released in UK. It's not really an original, but this is how we listened to these albums back in the day in the USA, is the Beatles' second album. This clocks in at 26 minutes and 25 seconds. Probably the Beatles' most rocking album. There's songs on here that weren't released on any of the UK albums at the time. Thank You Girl has always been an early favorite of mine. I'll Get You is really fantastic. I Call Your Name, great Lennon song. And then, of course, you've got some stuff from With the Beatles. The majority from With the Beatles. You Really Got a Hold on Me, Devil in Her Heart, Roll Over Beethoven. And then when I was young, I didn't really know, who would even know that these songs, were, picked from different albums. But I always thought Money Going to You Can't Do That was a perfect segue. Even though You Can't Do That was on Hard Day's Night. But yeah, this is great. And it clocks in at 26 minutes and 25 seconds. Another great one, of course, we can't leave this out, from 1976, the debut from the Ramones. This Ramones is clocking in at 29 minutes and 4 seconds, and there is not a moment's breath on this album. It just rocks all the way through, from Blitzkrieg Pop to Today, Your Love, Tomorrow, the World. I Want to Be Your Boyfriend. It's all just fantastic. I still think this is their best album. This and probably the next second and third that they did. But yeah, Ramones' first album, very short, sweet, rocking. That's all you need. Another great one is the third album from the Lovin' Spoonful, Hums of the Lovin' Spoonful, clocking in at 26 minutes and 48 seconds. Great album. As I mentioned before, the Lovin' Spoonful were a great albums band as well as a singles band. Look at the track listing on this album. Lovin' You, Darling Companion, Full Measure. It's a great single. Didn't go really far on the charts. Rain on the Roof, Coconut Grove, Nashville Cats, Summer in the City. Great freaking album, clocking in at 26 minutes and 48 seconds. Another great album I think that's really underrated in Tom Petty's canon is his second album, You're Gonna Get It, from 1978. A lot of great songs on here, but nobody really talks about it. I really like his early material, like the first album, this album, Damn the Torpedoes, Hard Promises. I think all those albums are really, really solid. I mean, you've got When the Time Comes, starting it off. You got Hurt, Magnolia, Too Much Ain't Enough, I Need to Know, Listen to Her Heart, No Second Thoughts, all clocking in at 28 minutes and 54 seconds. Great rockin' album from 1978 from Petty. Another great one is from the Beach Boys Today from 1965. And this is clocking in at 28 minutes and 54 seconds. This is a real progression for Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys from previous efforts. They're getting more sophisticated with the just the harmonies and the arrangements. You've got Do You Want to Dance, sung by Dennis Wilson, starting it off. You got Good to My Baby, When I Grow Up to Be a Man, which I think just has fabulous harmonies, really unique. Help Me Rhonda, Dance, Dance, Dance. Please Let Me Wonder. There's a lot of kind of melancholy tunes on here like that. Kiss Me Baby, She Knows Me Too Well. Great album. This is probably their best album before, considering Pet Sounds is their best album in the 60s, I think this is their second best album of the 60s. So the Beach Boys Today, and this one clocks in at 28 minutes and 54 seconds. You can't leave out the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, Lady Soul. This is a really short album, and this is clocking in at 28 minutes and 41 seconds. And there is not a note wasted on this record. Starting off with, excuse me 1 second here, need glasses for this. You got Chain of Fools, People Get Ready, her version, Come Back Baby Groovin', Ain't No Way, what an amazing song. You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Perfect album. And this is clocking in again at 28 minutes, 41 seconds. A great little listen here. And then last but not least, if you're in the mood for a little bossa nova, a little samba, how about Sergio Mendes and the Brazil 66 from 1966. This is a fantastic record. I love this stuff. I love this type of stuff. He got the hit on here, Mas Que Nada, and you've got some great covers, Day Tripper, Going Out of My Head. The backup singers, the two ladies singing on this album have beautiful voices. Great record. This one's clocking in at 25 minutes and 47 seconds. So anyway, if you have any to add to the comment section, please do so. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.